This is an elderly gentleman with an advanced cataract, some pseudo-exfoliation, and a small non-dilating pupil. So after making my incisions and staining the capsule with trypan blue, I go ahead and perform a rhexis. There is a suspicion that the zonules are slightly on the weaker side, as you can see when I am doing the rhexis, but this is an extremely thin capsule. So, and however, I am able to complete my rhexis with no sort of untoward incident, and hence I figure the zonules are maybe weak but still holding out. After doing the rhexis, I go ahead and do my hydrodissection. It has to be done very, very carefully, making sure I'm in the bag and hydrodissecting, watching for that anterior movement. I don't want to rotate this nucleus because I really do not know if the zonules are too weak. So I have put extra protection with some sodium hyaluronate as well, and I start my phaco. I take my sharp chopper, as you can see in my left hand, and planning to do the direct chops. This is just about an adequate pupil. In fact, it is on the lower side, but you got to get your chops bang on perfect. You cannot get lamellar chops in this case. So, and that's what I'm planning to do, and you can see I'm going at different levels and the pupil is shutting down on me. Anyway, I just continue. If you are not, you could also abandon and put in some expansion device and continue. However, I decided that I will continue. Second chop is okay. There are some fibers across, so now I go turn it again 90 degrees. So I am targeting the other end of that heminucleus. This time impale it very well, and I am watching very carefully down there and trying to tear. There I have torn off that entire posterior plate, and that's a very, very good chop. And when you are chopping with the phaco tip, you have to rotate that phaco tip anti-clockwise so that you break that posterior plate. See, watch this. That posterior plate has to be broken right to the center. I need to get pieces here. I cannot get an attachment in the center in such a small pupil and small rhexis as well. So I'm trying to make more and more pieces. And I can see that central disc, it is separated, but still I would like to get an individual piece out. I target one, no go. Target another, that also has a bit of an attachment. So rotate, and now I have got one segment that rotates outside. That's it. Once you get this, you have place within the bag. I decided now it's time to abandon my sharp chopper, substitute it with a blunt dialer, and I always call this the most versatile instrument ever devised in ophthalmology, the dialer. And watch how I am phacoing. I hardly move my phaco tip away from that center of the pupil. I will not stray either proximally or distally in respect to that pupillary margin, because once you engage that pupillary margin, then you are in trouble. It's only when I just cannot, I will go and just try to bring the piece with vacuum into the center and then phaco. There is a small attachment here, so I targeted the lower piece, and that's it. Once you get that attachment, all's well. Just stay in that center, let all the pieces come to you. It's only at this time that I migrate a bit. Just bring it with vacuum, bring it to the center, and then eat it up. So all done. Pupil is very well preserved, no damage to the iris, and now it's time to take out the cortex, you got to move the iris away with the irrigation handpiece, tip, and look underneath what's going on. If there is a lot of cortex, target it, as I have done here. But be very careful when you are pulling. You know there is pseudo exfoliation, you know the zonules are probably weak, so the capsular bag can just come away in your hands. This has just gone away from the surgical field, sorry about that. So is this, but you can see what I am doing. I am pushing away the iris with my irrigation tip and going within the capsular bag and slowly removing segment by segment of the cortical sheets. Once I have done, you don't have to do a 100% job in these cases. Once I have taken out enough cortex and I am satisfied, I am now injecting this single piece hydrophilic lens, and look, I am targeting the sulcus. I am not going into the bag. First the leading haptic goes into the sulcus. I am not going to push the trailing haptic in there. I let it come into the anterior chamber rather. Put in some viscoelastic and now it is much easier for me to control where I want to put this haptic, obviously in the sulcus. So it would have been better if I could put a multi-piece here. Unfortunately, this particular power we did not have a multi-piece, so we had to go with that hydrophilic lens. And now with both the help of both my dialers, I am trying to capture this optic within that rhexis. You just have to get a feel for it, you can't see it. I finally conclude my surgery by putting in some intracameral antibiotic and hydrating the wounds. Thank you so much for watching.